Ruben Lee, hello. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. We are trying this again, take two. So working on some Forge World Word Bearers, Ashen Circle Space Marines. These are jump pack Marines with a big, clunky jump packs. They look fantastic, and they're made out of Forge World resin. Again, I'm WarbossTae. If you're new to the channel, if you're unfamiliar with me, if you just happen to be doom scrolling the YouTube and you're seeing this, you're like, what is all this about? I paint Warhammer miniatures for fun and for profit, and I make YouTube videos on it. I've been doing it since November 2009. Holy cow. And I am proudly in the Dad Hammer camp of Warhammer YouTube content creators. I like to make content right here at the table. I don't have a big fancy studio with fancy lights and a crew working on editing and all of that stuff. I like to make content for painting things that I enjoy. And then I post them up on eBay and try to make a couple bucks back so that I can continue to support my family and fund my habit of Warhammer stuff. So this little lot that I'm working on is some Ashen Circle. If you are familiar with the Warhammer universe, I guess if you're not, these guys are mainly considered to be the bad guys in the lore in the universe. I really like the Jump Pack Space Marine. I think I'll get some soon. Yeah, they're great. They have different models of jump packs. You've got some guys with single turbines, some guys like these with a huge, clunky jet engine getup. I think the way they've evolved over the years is really interesting to see too. Ruben, what do you paint? What army do you collect? And while I continue to talk about word bearers being the de facto bad guys in the setting, they are the first ones that fell to the evil chaos gods and dedicated themselves to the destruction of humanity in the universe. So you can see that these guys, even though they're still painted in their like unification era, pre-heresy colors of this light gray stone color, they've already got some mutations and they're already starting to turn. This one's got like a skull coming out on his armor, so they're not completely good. You could run them as good guys, as loyalists, which I would tend to do. I think the interesting way of running any bad guys army is running them as a small force of loyalists or good guys in the setting, just trying to justify them existing, because most of the Word Bearers Legion fell to evil and they purged all of the loyalists, aka good guys, in their legion long before the actual Horus Heresy broke out. I was reading on it because I was like, how can I field a small force of word bearers? Are they all canonically evil? And unfortunately, by the time the Horus Heresy rolls around, the Horus Heresy being the big civil war in the fiction, which you might have read about because Horus Heresy, the series in the Black Library books, is such a huge seller for Games Workshop and Black Library. You might have to log off for a second. Crimson Fist, Ruben Lee, very cool. British Boy, hello. Warhammer Win Fire. You're really good at painting. Thank you, British Boy. I've had some practice. The one from the past checking in. How am I doing? I'm doing really well. What time is it over there in Australia? You can tell from the one from the past, his name is highlighted in green. That's because he is a channel supporter. He's a channel member. And I don't know if you can hear, but my little girl is crying. My lady boss just went to go up and take care of her. Hopefully she falls back asleep soon. It's really tough. We're trying to sleep train her and both the girls, and it's not going that great. 4:24 p.m. in the afternoon. All right, no wonder you're always in my live streams. I tend to paint late, like it's 11:30, 11:25 right now in the PM as I film this, because this is when I'm able to get the girls down and get some time painting. But yeah, I'm a Warhammer YouTuber. I've been posting content since November 2009, and my goal is to encourage other people to post their work and also to carve through your piles of potential. your backlogs, everything that you want to paint, that you set out to paint when you purchased, and then ended up not painting because you got bored or like distracted. I love Warhammer, but I'm bad at painting. British boy, we're all bad at painting at the beginning. All it takes is a little bit of practice and consistency. And if you don't want to paint, hey, I'm a commissioned painter. My studio is open for commissions right now. So I'll paint your stuff for you. Just pay me lots of money because I've got some screaming babies that need food and a wife with an addiction to online shopping. Don't tell her I said that, she'll kill me. And then sell my body parts online. I finished all my armatures. Oh, right on, the one from the past. Yeah, you guys gotta check them out. If you're not on my Discord right now, I highly suggest it. I linked it in the description. Check out the description for this video. Get onto my Discord so you can not only see what other people are working on in my Discord, but also just like motivate yourself by posting your own work. Join the Great Crusade 2025. We're all painting miniatures, trying to carve through our backlogs, and I'm having a great time doing it. I hope you guys are too. There's just so much great content to get through. There's so much great miniatures to paint. Like everybody's collecting something different. You can see real people painting real miniatures from across the world. I'm just having a blast with it. Okay, so as I've been saying, I'm working on these Ashen Circle for the word bearers. And now I'm doing my favorite part about painting. This is the part that a lot of people skip, and this is why they think they never get any better. It's really because a lot of us tend not to clean up. We don't go back to clean up our mistakes. And if you just continue to push forward, you're gonna notice that your paint jobs, you might be like kind of sloppy. You might be making some mistakes, painting outside the lines. And you might be wondering like, why doesn't my stuff look good? And it doesn't look good. Sadly, I'm gonna have to tell you the truth because you're not going back to clean up and tighten. I like to call it tightening the lines. Oh, thank you, they look very good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it so far. I think what's gonna make these guys look really extra special is when I do the administratum gray, when I highlight the black, and when I do some washes. All right, I think I've cleaned up most of what I want to. There's some stuff that I'm going to leave for later stages. So I hope you guys all bear with me. I wanted to make sure I have some Ashen Circle at various stages. Some of these guys, that's Ashen Circle at various stages so you could see my process. All right, now what I'm gonna do is highlight the black, and then we'll go to the washes. So anytime I highlight black, I just finished my Raven Guard the other day. Very good. Raven Guard is a great beginner's army to learn how to paint because most armies that are in black, Raven Guard, Iron Hands, most Space Marines, and even Chaos Space Marines that are predominantly black armored are easy to learn because you just prime them in black and then pick out details. Whenever I'm highlighting, I like to use the lights that I have to kind of inform where the highlights are going to go, and sometimes I just go off into the weeds myself. Just hope I'm doing the right thing. All right, yeah, I finished my near 1,000-point Crimson Fists. Right on. I got these twins, right? These twin girls, and they're such good girls, and they're growing up so fast. And happy belated Father's Day to any of you who happen to be fathers. I'm just so like overwhelmed by how wonderful they are every day. That is why I made my army Death Watch. Nice. I think if you can prime your army and call them like 95% done, then it's a great way to learn new skills. Then you can focus on certain things like highlighting, painting details, whatever, right? It's just like you skip the like it's kind of hard to start with an army that's more brightly colored. Like if you were to start with Crimson Fists and have to learn how to paint yellow as your first starting army just because it was on, it's like one of the starter armies in the Horus Heresy box, then that's a hard army to start with. Crimson Fists is good. It's a good starter army. Prime in blue, and there you go. Paint the fists crimson, you got some Crimson Fists. But yeah, with every army, even like Raven Guard, you gotta learn highlighting. You gotta learn detailing and edge highlighting. Space Marines are very forgiving in that fact that whatever your army is, if you just buy that color primer, you spray your army that color, then you can pick out the silver details. It's not too bad. It's not too bad of a way to go. But yeah, like armies like Eldar or Leagues of Votan, anything that has, like Harlequins, oh my goodness, anything that has a colorful color scheme, a little bit harder to learn. All right, but I'm debating either jump packs or Outriders. Oh, okay. Outriders, I don't see much of. And it's a whole different skill set, right? Learning how to paint a vehicle. So either way would be fun, man. I like the black, and with the ability to have different chapters, and you just have to paint the shoulder pad different colors. Yep, that's great. Instead of saying, okay, I want to be Space Wolves, and then realizing halfway into painting your first squad of Blood Fangs that you don't care to paint Space Wolf gray. Yeah, do it in black. Death Watch. I think the Death Watch also have like such a great fiction to them, that they're comprised of Marines from different chapters. They're all having to work together to complete their missions, and they're not like a big army of, you know, different Marines from the same chapter. They're all from different chapters. I like that. All right, I'm gonna keep painting. Do you do bases? I do. Yes, I do. For these guys, for most of the stuff I put on eBay, I base them in this Grim Dark Rubble, which is base ready scatter. Very simple, and it's a no-brainer. Really, all I have is two products. It's this basing glue, fast drying basing glue from Geek Gaming Scenics, and then the actual basing material. And I just dip them into this once I've got glue on the bases, and I just tap it off, and the random placement of the rocks in this case, and the dirt and the grit is like perfect for me. If I do something like my dwarves or anything fantasy themed, I'll tend to use base scatter like this. I think it's called like step or mountain basing. It's rocks and grass and foliage and dirt, and it's perfect for any fantasy themed army. And if you want to do like a winter theme for that, you could just add some snow to the base. So I like to get about, you know, I like to be finished with my miniatures before I start that part. I really love how they can use Xenos weapons. That's cool too. Yep. The Death Watch is a great army. All right, 18 people in the chat, 6 likes. Thank you for the thumbs up. If you'd like to support my channel and my studio, then a thumbs up is always appreciated. But your just being here is telling the algorithm that my content is worth watching. So thank you for hanging out tonight. And wherever you are in the world, Australia, Kansas, the UK, I hope you are having a great night, afternoon, day, morning. And if you do feel so inclined to support my studio in a more substantive way, my super chats are open. You can also become a channel member and get a bunch of free digital downloads. I'm making like project planners and calendars and recipe cards and a bunch of stuff that you can download. And it's available to all my channel members for free on the Discord. And I just want to support you guys as you paint your miniatures. If you'd like to join the Grey Crusade, which is what I call my summer painting challenge, then it's from now till the end of August. We're trying to get a worldwide global goal of 5,000 miniatures painted. And that's like 5,000 miniatures, but that's also counting if you swear some oaths of moment, like you make some commitments every week and you're able to accomplish them, complete your mission, then your miniature will not count as one, but it could count as, 3 or 5 or whatever. So that's a fun way to gamify the whole painting challenge, get your butt in gear, and I'm absolutely having a great time with it. We've got some people in the chat right now, like the one from the past is doing an amazing job with his Death Watch in the challenge. So join the Discord, just check it out. You don't even have to join the Great Crusade if you just want to see other people painting some amazing miniatures. It's very inspiring. Because one of the things I found super helpful when I first started in this hobby was looking at other people's work and seeing what other people are able to paint and accomplish. So if you like that kind of motivation, then my Discord is a great place to get some ideas, to chat with people who know about the hobby. It's good to learn from different people, from different walks of life, different experience levels. If you have a question. All right. Let's go back. I gotta scroll up in the chat. Where did you get them the breeze? Okay, so British boy, this is from Geek Gaming Scenics, that's the word. They're on eBay. You can also find them online. A lot of retailers also sell them. Geek Gaming Scenics. This particular one is called Grimdark City Rubble. And I highly recommend getting the basing glue. You could use just regular Elmer's glue or white PVA glue, I think it's called, in other parts of the world. Mix it up with some water, but I found that this fast drying basing glue has such a great flow to it. It comes out of the bottle real easy. You could spread it really fast. And sometimes I find that Elmer's glue, even when you mix it with water, it's kind of clumpy and thick and you're not able to smooth it around as much. All right, you definitely inspired me to start painting my miniatures. Thank you, the one from the past. You have such a great collection. It's amazing. Which Pokemon is that? This is Ashen Circle Chew. Born in the UK. Okay, what kind of Marines are these? The T-Twit, they look cool with the older style of pack. These are Ashen Circle Word Bearers, which is why you can see a lot of them have the Colchian runes on their armor, and a lot of like purity seals. They've got the Imperial Herald's Book on Fire symbol, which was the original Word Bearers insignia before they became the book with the demon's head on fire in the center. Yeah, these are called Ashen Circle. They're unavailable. They're currently temporarily out of stock if you try to get them on Games Workshop. Like many of Games Workshop's stock and product that they should have in stock, they do not have this one, which I think is absolutely ridiculous if you're a business and you're trying to sell your products to not have a model in stock or not have things that people want to buy, like Primarchs. But it is what it is. They don't even have Mark III armor in stock anymore. I don't know if you guys know this, but I love the Mark III armor, and I just did some Night Lords and Iron Warriors in Mark III, and they look absolutely beautiful. I've got them on my eBay store right now. And actually, I take that back. I've got only the Night Lords on my eBay store. Somebody scooped up those Iron Warriors like the day after I posted them on eBay. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll get some more. And I looked on Games Workshop's website, all gone, temporarily out of stock, which means they're probably never coming back. Games Workshop says temporarily out of stock. That means too bad, so sad. We're not bringing it back anytime soon, so deal with it. It's crazy for like a business, right? I mean, you say you're temporarily out of stock of something, just say like you have no plans of putting these guys back on the shelves anytime soon. All right, morning here in the Wales. What Pokemon is that? It's Pikachu, Trazen. Is that a Lord of the Rings? Okay, let's see you, British boy. Sorry I missed that. Ogre has layers. My jokes aside, that is sharp looking. Thanks for having a good sense of humor. Ah, thank you. I think it's artificial rarity. There you go. Create the demand and then control the supply. I had to wait ages for a Hellbrute, and I know apothecaries have been out of stock for eons. It's crazy. It's crazy that they have this game and they're not able to. But I don't know. What do I know? I'm just a dad painting Warhammers and complaining about it on YouTube. Anyways, I'm glad you guys are here. 21 people in the chat. It's a huge viewership tonight. So happy you're all here. Whatever you're working on, you can count on me to be here for a little while. My goal is to paint the rest of these. I've got 2 already finished, beautifully painted, in my opinion. Took me a while, so I'm glad they're done. And then I've got 3 more to go. Hopefully we get all 3 done tonight on the live stream. And don't forget, I am a commissioned painter, yada, yada, yada. I gotta put my commercials in here somewhere. So yeah, if you are curious, then you can contact me at my email, WarbossTae@gmail.com. All one word, WarbossTae Studios. But I'm gonna be here in the live stream giving you my tips and tricks for how to achieve whatever I'm working on. So my armor for this is base in Celestra Gray. Then I actually spray prime these in gray rather than white. I don't like to spray in white too often, to prime my miniatures in white too often, because it's such a hard color to work down from. I like a nice medium matte gray primer, and then I just built up the colors with Celestra Gray, Dawnstone, and finally Administratum Gray, which is a beautiful bright gray color. And then I shaded with Apothecary White, which is why it looks a little grayish or a little bluish. Apothecary White is a contrast paint, and so when I use it, I like to use it like a wash sometimes, and it comes out looking pretty good. You just gotta have to build the color back up a little bit. And then now I used Basilicum Gray to do the shading instead of Known Oil or Agrax Earthshade. I think Basilicum Gray is a nice, softer shade color. It's a contrast paint, it's not even a shade, but I like to use it to shade the gray. Here's an interesting tidbit too. These jump pack Marines are the only ones that I know of that have these like shock absorbers on the back of their legs. Usually you don't see that in Space Marine models. I don't know, I've never seen it actually, in fact, on any other model. I think it's really cool that there are these like shock absorbers, because they're jump packs, the jump pack Marines, so they're jumping around all the time, and they have these shock absorbers in the back of the legs. I think it's really cool. But what's interesting is that only like 3 of the 5 have these shock absorbers. The rest of them have regular Space Marine legs, which makes me wonder if they're just like old. They're older Space Marines, they're veterans, so they're like, I can't jump as well as I used to. Give me some shock absorbers. Anyways, I'm gonna be here painting. Let me check the chat one more time, and then I'm gonna hit the mute button for a little bit, and I'll be here though. I'll be around. So if it sounds funny because the audio just dies out, then sometimes I'm gonna hit the mute button if I've got some other stuff going on here. But yeah, feel free to keep chatting away. I'm gonna keep monitoring it and looking to see what's going on. And again, thank you for joining me, and I hope you'll stay with me as I paint up these Ashen Circle word bearers. I might put some transfers on them. I don't know. We'll see. I think the next model, I'm back. Oh, hey. Hey, British boy, welcome back. Alexander Moran, hello. I think the next model I should get is a tanker transport. Yep. It's a good skill to learn, or it's a good break from if you're painting a lot of infantry to do some vehicles. I have a question. What is your opinion of my custom orc? They don't just loot stuff, but people, so they take and brand other creatures so they can use them like attack dogs. You know what? With anything that anyone says they want to do, I say if you can make it work in your head, and if you can like find the rules, that represent it in the battlefield. Like you could say, okay, this is going to count as a looted battle wagon, or this guy's, like, I know they look like Cadians, but they're going to count as boys. Then I would say 99% of people will be like, yeah, that's cool, whatever. It's like once you get to like the tournament scene where people start to have very strong opinions of what should and shouldn't be allowed. I actually think though that like if you're in a tournament, if you're doing a Warhammer 40K or Age of Sigmar, any kind of gaming tournament, the one rule that I think you should follow is that miniatures should be painted. You shouldn't go to a tournament after spending hours and hours painting your miniatures and then lose to somebody with miniatures that aren't even like base coated. But that's not me being elitist. That's just me saying like you put hours and hours into your miniatures, making them look good, or you pay somebody hundreds of dollars to do it for you. Like you should have a better, like you shouldn't not paint your miniatures and have a chance at winning a tournament is basically it. All right, that's my opinions on that. Any tips for painting with fairly unsteady hands? Yeah, here, let me show you. Get a painting handle like this. You could also use a piece of cork or an empty paint pot like this. Put some blue tack on the bottom. Just anything that you can wrap your hands around. So like a prescription pill bottle, something small and round that you can wrap your hand around, because your hands are gonna cramp if you're gonna hold a small thin base like this. I once made this mistake by painting 100 night goblins. My hands were irrevocably damaged after that. So you want to make sure you're not doing this for too long, because you're putting too much strain on your knuckles and your fingers. You need something, even if it's just a paint pot with some sticky tack, poster tack, blue tack, whatever you want to call it, and stick your model on that. For a while, I used to use a piece of cork that I got from my arts and crafts store. I use this for most miniatures under 40 millimeters. Like a Terminator base won't fit on this, but a regular infantry size guy will. It's good, it's easy. Your hand wraps around it pretty easily. There's no strain on the back of your hand. And then for your other hand, holding your brush, however you hold your brush, what you do is you brace your forearms on the edge of your table, and then you take your wrists and you just lean them against each other. So this is how I'm painting most of the time, with my forearms resting on the corner of my table. Then all I'm using really to paint is I'm manipulating my paintbrush with this hand and turning the model like this around so that I can get to whatever area I need to reach. And this is just like practice, getting where you need to go. But this is invaluable. If you're just painting without bracing your wrists together, then either hand shaking is going to cause the whole thing to get messy. But you're double braced if you're bracing your forearms and your wrists together. So that's my best tip, to steady your hands if you have shaky hands. If you had too much coffee, or you didn't have enough sleep, your hands are shaking, your fingers are getting a little trembly and wibbly wobbly, just double brace your hands. Forearms, table, wrists. Yep, there you go, Ruben Lee. Place both hands together so when you are unsteady, they move together. I suggest looking into paint pens. I myself have fairly unsteady hands. Paint pens, if you look at the one from the past, his miniatures, they look terrific. 23 people in the chat. Holy cow, that is amazing. Welcome, welcome everybody. He's low-key stunting on us brokies. What? No ways, no ways. I've done it with a piece of like $2 cork from a hobby store. Is it something you can get better at? Because I'm quite stable. Is what something you can get better at? Ruben Lee. Yeah, okay, thanks, man. I'm currently painting a Helldrake. It's proper hard for me to keep on the trim. Yeah, Chaos trim is difficult. No matter what you do, Chaos trim is tricky. But another thing I would suggest is just practice. And what I'm doing now, like I have super, not shaky hands, but I messed up, so I just painted in Basilicum Gray to all of the runes over here. When you go back with your cleanup phase to tighten the lines, like here I'm tightening the shade, then it cleans it up for you. and it makes you look a lot more talented than you might think you are. This works also with like Night Lord's Lightning. If you're really messy with the lightning bolts, they look thick and clunky, then you go back with your armor color and you clean them up. They look way better. All right, like I said, I'm gonna mute for a little while. But if you have any questions, you want to talk in the chat, then yeah, just write in the chat again. Thank you for joining me wherever you are in the world. I hope you enjoy watching me finish, because I think I'm gonna finish this Ashen Circle Space Marine, and then I'm gonna put the basing on to the other one that I finished, because I actually finished another one earlier. So yeah, stick around, hang out, grab a drink, grab something to munch on, and I hope you enjoy watching me finish painting this squad. Hopefully if I can get it finished tonight, then I can throw it up on eBay as well. We'll see. All right, the T-Twit. Sorry, just saw that, Ruben Lee. If you're still here, see you later. And the T-Twit, see you in a little bit, hopefully. Like I said, this is the time when we're trying to train how to train your toddlers how to sleep at night. And it's kind of exhausting, especially for my lady boss, because she's the one that really is able to put them back down to sleep if they wake up crying. So when she's able to come down and enjoy some TV or whatever, I like to let her hang out here. I'm actually in the living room of my place. And so, like, you know, she comes down to watch some TV or whatever, then I gotta do the good husband thing and say, oh, I'm streaming if that's okay, but I will mute it so I can talk to you. And then she'll talk to me and ask me how my day is going and why I'm not massaging her. And then sometimes I have to get off the live stream to fulfill my husbandly duties. Chloroform and duct tape. Oh my goodness, for me, so that I can get some sleep. I swear, sometimes I end these live streams and it's like I don't even remember putting the paints away or turning off my light. Like, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, how did I get in this bed? It's like I was abducted by aliens. So it really helps, like when I do a test model, I'm usually not too sure if that's how I want to do the rest, because I like to batch paint most of the time if I can. But sometimes my test model, I'm like, yeah, I think I could have done that better, right? It's not as clean. Like, maybe I painted a color that should have gone on later, or like I can't reach that part of the model now because I've already painted an earlier color. Anyways, basically what I'm saying is if it takes you 2 or 3 test models in a squad, then at least you can do the last fourth or fifth model the most optimal way. Like, I don't think you should keep screwing around trying to find your most optimal way and then never finding it, and because you keep changing your mind. So like, YouTube helps, asking for other people's help, searching online, like, well, how do you paint something? All of that is great, but at the end of the day, it's your model, right? You spent the money on it, you're the one that's painting it, so you got to figure out what's the best way for you to churn through a squad. And if you don't know, if you paint the test model and you're still trying to figure it out, like 3 or 4 models later, then it's going to be harder and harder for you to finish the whole squad. That's why we give up painting. That's why we accrue and we build our piles of shame, our backlogs, because we're not focusing on how to get them painted as quickly as possible. So that's just a little tip from me. Like, find your optimal path as soon as you can when you're working on a new project, and follow it. If you have to write it down, if you have to just like train yourself to really follow the correct way, or not the correct way, but the most optimal way. There's no correct way. Everybody says, oh, this is how you paint something, but really it's up to you. But once you find it, you really got to do it. Okay, what gold are you using? It's my favorite gold. It's Metal and Alchemy Necro Gold. It's perfect for evil armies. It's from a set called Metal and Alchemy, so you get a number of different gold colors. I don't know if you can get Necro Gold all by itself. I think you have to get the metal set or the gold set, and it comes in like a pack of like eight, maybe eight gold paints, like six paints, and then two of them are called like alchemy, peridot alchemy and citrine alchemy, which basically tint the gold into a different color. But yeah, they have like elven gold, dwarven gold, Viking gold, which kind of mimic a lot of Games Workshop's colors, like Retributor, and Balthazar gold looks a lot like dwarven gold. But Necro gold, I've never seen anything like it from Games Workshop. It's this beautiful, like dark, evil looking old gold that just looks so good on usually evil miniatures, but I would use it on Stormcast. I think it would look great on some Stormcast miniatures. Your way of painting is fun. Thank you, Chromed Up Kaiju. I try to keep it fun, because if it's not fun, you're gonna get bored, right? And then you're gonna turn on the TV and boot up Witcher 3 for the 100th time, or The Last of Us 1 Director's Edition. Gotta clarify, The Last of Us 1. Yeah, this is one of the guys that don't have the messed up behind the legs shock absorbers. So it wasn't like a unit-wide thing. Compare this guy to the other guy. Where is he? The one I just painted. See, this guy too has like regular back of the legs. This is like a regular Space Marine. And some of them have these crazy shock absorbers in the back of their legs. The AK Interactive Liquid Gold I've been using is really nice, but I would like to have some different type of gold. I think AK Interactive Brass looks really nice too. If you can get your hands on that, I think that is. I've seen some YouTubers using it, and I'm like, ooh, that's nice. AK Interactive Brass. So when you look at the Forge World or the Games Workshop like product page, they don't show 360 views for a lot of these older Forge World exclusive miniatures. And some of them they do, they've brought them into the more current atmosphere, but a lot of these, like the Ashen Circle, they don't show all the angles, and they don't really say what paint colors they used, right? It's funny because I saw on Reddit somebody emailed the Forge World support and said, "Hey, what colors are these? Because I wanna replicate it." And Forge World actually emailed them back and said they don't keep track. The painters don't keep track of the paints they use, so it could be anything. And I always thought, oh, that's crazy. Like I would think if you worked at a studio that produced miniatures, that you would be like required to write down or catalog like the paints that you used. Yep. It's funny. I looked on Reddit and two people said it. I think one was actually, yeah, one was actually like this one, this unit, this ashen circle. Somebody asked on Reddit, hey, does anybody know what colors these are? I'm trying to paint some ashen circle word bearers. And they're like, well, it looks like the old Fortress gray, and it looks like Administratum gray, and it looks like this or that. And then somebody was like, oh yeah, I actually emailed Forge World, and they got back to me and said their painters don't they don't keep track of what colors they use, or they don't keep track, but they don't record it and catalog it and have it as a resource. So if you were working at Forge World 10 years ago when these first came out, and you painted them, and then you left the company, they wouldn't know what colors you use now. I really think Games Workshop's website, their new their like policy of making most things 360 in a 360 view, it's so good. As a painter, it is so helpful to see like what something looks like from different angles. I used to think, oh, that's interesting, but not all of the models had a 360 view. In fact, I remember exactly when they started doing 360 views. It was during the Cursed City previews. Do you guys remember that? They released a 360 view of one of the heroes. They're like, this is a new thing we're doing. We're gonna show you 360 degrees what these miniatures look like. And I was like, what? That's crazy. And then I saw it and I was like, oh, you could see all the angles. It's like so helpful if you're a painter. Because now all of a sudden you're not guessing what a color is. Like you could clearly see it from different angles. And I gotta tell you this, if any of you use the Citadel painting app, it's like a very, very simple app of like a painting guide for all their miniatures. It's so simple that it's basically just a list. It's not even a guide. But the app is I think the app is woefully incorrect about a lot of colors. And either they're not using the correct colors, or they were photographed poorly. Because I'm looking at how to paint a lot of stuff, and I'm using the colors that they suggest in the Citadel painting app, and it is like not correct. But yeah, as I mentioned in another live stream, I'm super happy to be part of the group of YouTubers that are still stuck in the early 2010s. I don't have my own studio. I don't have like a big staff. I don't have any staff. I got me, myself, and I. I got my manservant, Igor, and Lewis the Necromancer comes by every once in a while, and Commissar Bane, but they're all unpaid interns. They're all unpaid staff. I don't have a crew. I'm basically a one-man operation. So whatever, if you're interested in my studio, whatever support and help you can give, even if it's like, I don't like asking for donations and handouts. I much rather say like, I want to give you something in return. So if you want to become a channel member, if you want to support my channel by becoming a channel member, then I can offer you all my free downloads and all the stuff that I'm doing on YouTube. Like I can do channel members only polls, which you can vote on, and things like that nature. Like I want to give back to you. So that's basically my pitch for becoming a channel member. I hope you consider it. It would help out my studio, and I hope to enrich your hobby in return. Oh yeah. That look like a gourmita Louis, Loris the P38. What's a gormita? I don't know that. Hell yeah, mini painting. Good for you, bro. That's awesome. I used to do that, but now I'm gonna kill myself. Don't do that. Do not do that. Phineas equals the Emperor. Ferb equals Malcador. Yep, I see that. That is lore accurate, I think. I think painting miniatures is like great. They helped get me through a lot of hard times, a lot of stressful times, instead of spending it on stuff that would not be beneficial to me. I spent a lot of my time and money just painting miniatures, meeting people online, engaging with people in the hobby, and working through my issues like that, throwing dice down. Yeah, WTFCB. Please don't do. Oh my God, I hope you don't do that. I hope you're just joking, and I hope I might send an email to YouTube or something. Like, that's not cool. Don't say that. You know, it's actually helped me out recently, guys. Like, something that's helped me to appreciate again, like the beauty and art of something is watching Studio Ghibli movies after years of having not seen them is like huge. I don't know if you're like whatever any of y'all are going through, but like that cozy feeling watching a Studio Ghibli film. My lady boss and I were talking about it the other day. Like, there's a feeling that you don't get anymore. It's not nostalgia, but if you remember to when you were a kid and you used to look forward to going to the theater, there's a feeling that you lose as you get older. Like, now when I think about going to the theater, I'm just like, oh boy, popcorn and money and keeping track of everything and finding the seats and holding snacks while hungry children are all around you. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have Taco Bell for dinner. Nice. Flight of the Fireflies. Okay, don't watch that. Holy cow, that's gonna mess you up. But we were watching. What were we watching? Ponyo. My son watched Ponyo for the first time the other night. My friend Totoro, he loves that film. A lot of like heartbreaking stuff, but it's also like a lot of fun and really cute, and reminds me how much fun everything could be in life. Yeah, Studio Ghibli is just so great. I said The Secret Life of Ariete. That one's a banger. This is what it's all about, guys. Just distracting your brain while you're working so that you lose track of the effort. Like anything you paint, anything you're working on, if you've got something like you don't have to be live streaming, but if you've got like music playing, or if you're listening to a podcast, or you're watching a WarbossTae video, then it makes the time go by so fast. And just seeing 13 people in the chat, my chat usually doesn't do big numbers, right? I've never had more than like 20 or 30 people actively watching my live streams before. So I just feel like I'm not even disappointed when my number drops down to like 3 or 4 people watching, or even 0. Sometimes YouTube like drops my streams, and then when it reconnects, everybody's gone and nobody comes back, and YouTube sees nobody's there, so they stop pushing it. So I'm just left talking to the void for like the rest of the hour. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll end the stream here. What do you guys think of the new Saturnine Terminators? Oh man. They showed off that one from the White Scars, and I'm like, why is it the first one you show off is from a Legion that is all about speed? That don't make no sense. Like, they should have shown off a Saturnine Terminator painted up as an Iron Hands. Hello, isn't like the whole Saturnine shtick is that it's a story of the Istavan, the drop site massacre? Why aren't your Saturnine Terminators painted up like Iron Hands? I think you're just gonna paint the whole thing. Streaming just to chill is a vibe. My sister watched Flight of the Fireflies thinking it was a normal Studio Ghibli movie. She was quite horrified. I think the part that hit me the most was like at the end when they're looking and it's like it suddenly turns to like a modern day. Well, you know, I'm not gonna spoil it. But I was weeping. I don't think I've ever cried that much, and my wife was horrified, and she was like, "Don't ever show me anything like that." I've noticed that once you have kids, I don't know if it's like all people, or maybe I'm just like a special case, but my lady boss, my wife, does not handle certain kinds of films and media well anymore. Like, she can't watch anything with like violence done to families and putting children in spooky situations. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I used to love horror. I used to love like spooky things and all sorts of grisly stuff. Not body horror. I was always just like, yeah, whatever. But like Final Destination and Event Horizon and like all the greats from the 90s and early 2000s. I used to love those. And now, as a father of young children, I'm like, I'm good. I'll just watch Ponyo again. I don't need that spooky stuff in my life anymore. Maybe I will be okay once my son is old enough to actually like it himself. Maybe he'll like it like I used to like it. That'd be crazy if he ends up being a huge horror enthusiast. But I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I don't need spooky stuff in my life, or the Terrifier 3. I don't need that. You know what's funny? The Terrifier, Art the Clown. I saw a thing that said that he used to understudy for Stefan from Lazy Town. Right? Was that what it's called? It's been such a long time. Stefan Carl. Like, he used, and now like when I look at clips of Art the Clown, I'm like, oh yeah, that exaggerated vaudevillian style where like he doesn't speak, right, but he just has these crazy poses and faces. Then my wife is like, what are you doing? I have to turn off the TV. Like, nothing. I am not watching clips from Terrifier because that would not be fun. She'll just watch the new Sex and the City. You know what's crazy too? Like, my wife didn't turn me on to it. I wouldn't say like I'm a huge fan, but when my wife was pregnant with our son, we watched all of Sex and the City. We binged it because that's what she wanted to watch. So that's what we watched. And I hated it. I hated it so much. And then at some point, I was just like, all right, next episode. And then at some point, you realize I'm watching this now, and now I'm actually invested. Oh, dang it! And then you become like invested in the stories and the characters and whatever. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I like it. And then my lady boss is like, haha, got you hooked on Sex in the City. Then I look up at the sky and I go, no. But it's funny. The reason I bring that up is because now they brought it back, right, for this sequel series called And Just Like That. And oh my gosh, it's bad. Like, not even bad as like a sequel. It's like bad as a show. Like, why would you do this? I actually got myself to enjoy Sex in the City, as hard as that was, as ridiculous and ludicrous and unbelievable. Like, I actually started to enjoy it, and now like this new series is like, oh my god. It's like when Saved by the Bell left and then came back with the college years, but all they had was Screech for some reason. It's like you can't have Saved by the Bell without Zach and Slater and Kelly and Lisa. Am I aging myself? Am I dating myself with these references? People watch me and are like, what are you talking about? What is Saved by the Bell? You know, a cartoon I used to love as a kid. Like, I would wake up every Saturday morning to watch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon. There's another one, not just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What was it? What did I used to love to watch on Saturdays? I think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was like a weekday thing. But Saturday morning cartoons, when you think of Saturday morning cartoons, like what comes to your mind? I can't really think of it now. Just having a good time, painting my ashen circles. All right, I think I'm gonna say this guy's done. Oh, you know, I gotta write some script. Oh, the one from the past. Yeah, I bet it would have hit a lot differently when you became a parent. I've always loved the Australian flag in Event Horizon, how they remove Union Jack and replace it with the Aboriginal flag. I didn't notice that. Or not that I didn't notice, but I never knew that. That's really cool. That is really cool. All right, guys. I'm not gonna win any golden demons. I just love painting. So if you enjoy my style, my work, and you want to commission me to paint anything of yours, then you can email me all the time at WarbossTaeStudios@gmail.com. I like to consider my work a high tabletop. I feel like I get everything painted. I try to paint everything on the model is what I meant to say. So that whatever angle you look at, there is paint. 1 second, chat. Let me go check on my baby real quick. Okay. It's number 4. I'm really pleased with it. 4 out of 5 Ashen Circle are done. All right, let's knock out number 5. From the beginning. So I'm gonna walk you through, this is gonna be my tutorial of how to do, thank you, Kren, how to do an Ashen Circle from scratch, or from step 1 all the way to here. This is the goal. So the first thing you want to do is identify what kind of Ashen Circle Marine do you have? Is there any mutations? What are the glyphs? What do the glyphs look like? These guys are called Ashen Circle from the Word Bearers. They're the original Word Bearers color scheme when they were known as the Imperial Heralds. This was their symbol, a book on fire. Before they fell to chaos, their color scheme was this light stone color with gold trim and black accents. So yeah, these guys eventually turned evil. In fact, at some point, they got pretty grody looking, and in the fluff and the fiction of the Warhammer 40k universe, they are the first ones to fall to evil. Hail Morcar. I don't know who that is. So the guy that I'm going to be painting now looks like he's got a book on his chest, chained to his chest. He's got different glyphs all over him. Very cool. He's got a hand flamer, like most everybody else in his squad. I think there's somebody with the Melta. And you also want to check their grill, like what kind of breathing apparatus they have. All right, then you want to look at their sword. The cool thing about these guys, so in the fiction of the universe, their role in the army was that they would drop into a planet they were attacking, and they would use these swords to pull down statues. They would use the pick part to dig it into a statue, and then they would pull it down, and they would use their flamers to burn any holy books and holy texts that whatever civilization they were attacking would read and worship. And by doing this, they're creating this shock and awe, really demoralizing the enemy by basically burning whatever faith and whatever they believed in. I couldn't find your live. Oh, I'm sorry. What does that mean? You couldn't find your live. I'm right here. You did find my live. This is my live. Star Afton. I'm sorry, I don't understand what you mean. So these guys are so cool, and I've never seen them painted in their word bearers red. I've always seen them painted in this light stone color from the Imperial Heralds, and I think that's really cool because there's no other unit in the word bearers catalog that are painted like this. So that's what I want to show you. I was on the last live. Oh, okay. The one that I did tonight, the very last one, that got cut off, like YouTube just yeeted me, and I turned my back, and when I looked back, it said, "Your live is finished." There were 2 people that saw it. I was like, what? All right, let's do it. Hail Morcar. All right. But been waiting for you to go live, and if you have, I haven't seen it. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I haven't really. The last couple of days, I've not been able to. So I spray primed this miniature in gray sear. Oh, that's why. Okay, yeah. I wanted it to be nightly, and the last couple of times I haven't. Heretic. Yes. In fact, first I was thinking, oh, I'll just make these guys like loyalists, but like all word bearers, there's just too many flaming skulls and just evil things on these guys. In fact, in the history and the fluff of the word bearers legion. Oh, I didn't know that. Morcar is a chaos sorcerer from Hero Quest. I love Hero Quest. I feel like I shouldn't. I should have known that. Who is your favorite faction in one-page rules? I don't know one-page rules. My favorite faction in Warhammer is all of them except Necrons. And maybe just because I haven't painted any. So I spray primed this gray sear. So that's why it's looking a little gray. Hold on, I'll be right back. My lady boss is texting me. I gotta answer her on the iPad. Where is my iPad? Where is my iPad? I hear it ding. Let me see if my Eternal Dynasty, cool. Let me see if I can text my wife really quick. Cancel my live. Oh, please tell me it's not cancel. Astra Militarum. I don't play, but I listen to the lore by Luthien. I like the Salamanders and the Grey Wolves. Grey Wolves? Space Wolves. Grey Knights. Search up Eternal Dynasty? All right, I will do that. Okay, after I spray primed this miniature in gray sear, I am going to take Celestra Gray. We're gonna start with that. I'm gonna do top down. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff right there. I think it's Grey Knights. Are they woofy? No, that's Space Wolves. And the Space Wolves are gray. Like their armor is gray, or I guess bluish gray now in 40k. But in 30k, their armor was gray. Hi, Star Afton. Yeah, Space Wolves are woofy. They're very woofy. Woofiness is their aesthetic. Such a huge universe it is. Then I'm going to use Oathwan Gray. I like the woofiness. Oathwan Gray is going to be like a very light highlight, so I'm going to just casually brush it on. Oh, this is going to get covered up anyway, so once I use the Apothecary White, that kind of dulls everything down. Have you watched Hamilton? Furry Space Marines. Have you watched Hamilton? I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. I have not watched Hamilton, but I grew up in musical theater. I was a musical theater nerd. I did a bunch of shows in community theater. I directed a bunch too. I used to like be like really, really big into it. Hamilton is a show. It's a musical by the same guy who wrote the music for like Encanto and Moana. I didn't know this. Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote the music for Moana, the first one. Oh, it was great. I love that one. It's a show that's a live theater acting show. Yep. I used to be all about that. Musicals. And then I wasn't. And you know when you're out of it, when you don't do something for a while and then you see something, like you really notice everything that like you don't notice when you're knee deep into it. Like I could recite all the lyrics to Les Miserables, Young Frankenstein, Spring Awakening. Like I was so into the music of stuff, and boy, once you get out of it after a couple of years and you're able to objectively look at everything, it's like, whoa, amazing. Like you're able to really call something out for what it is. If something is really objectively good or bad, not objectively, subjectively. I'm just like, I don't enjoy musicals anymore. Have you looked up Eternal Dynasty? I haven't looked up Eternal Dynasty yet. I'm gonna have to do it once the stream ends, and then maybe I'll make a post about it. All right, so now while I'm waiting for all the white stuff to dry, I'm gonna start painting in the black areas. And in fact, I think my lady boss is gonna need help putting down the babies because she's nursing one and the other one has started crying. So I'm gonna have to dig out here. But thanks for watching, everybody. This is a great 80-minute session, and I'm so glad you were able to hang out with me. Look how far we were able to get. And I hope you all have a great night. We'll see you in the next live video.